If you had to make a 5-step action plan for someone who's getting started, what would the 5-step action plan be? So like
5 step. Okay. First step,
what was the first AI agent or automation tool that you ever built for a client?
he was looking for a list of therapists and coaches like across the world, and he had these websites. He sent me like 10 websites.
What is like your biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to start their own automation agency?
You have to,
I won't ask you for the exact amount you're getting paid, but
Yeah.
in terms of the range, what would you say it is?
yeah, this is shaping up to be like a deep 5-figure.
Hey, what's up, Ronald? So Ronald, you created a project for $5,000 for one single client. But before we get into that, I kind of want to start on how you first got into this automation space, where you first learned about it. What really made you want to do this, right? Because as far as I remember, you are now a college senior. You know, we met when you were a college junior. And as you progress through your journey, and you're now a senior in college. But even before you really got to this point, like tell me a bit about how it all started.
Yeah, so going into the spring of my junior year, I was looking for ways to make money on the side because I figured, AI is taking off. I have this coding ability. How can I figure out how to monetize this online? And I came across your videos and I was like, wait, this actually seems like pretty doable. Like the stuff he's doing. I was following along. I was like, okay, I've done basically all these projects before on my own, but now I can get paid to do it. So it's like, this is a perfect opportunity to learn how to do it and sell it to clients. So that's how I got started about 6-7 months ago. I actually watched one of your interviews with one of your previous mentees. And I was like, let me just check it out and try it out.
Yeah, so I think you probably saw an interview with Ilya then, right? It's almost like a
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're on the other end, right? Now you're doing the interview, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully someone watching this will see this and be like, oh wait, I can definitely do this. Like he's in college, I'm also in college. Let me go ahead and start my side hustle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What would you say for the people who are, sitting on their hands that are in the coding space, especially, call new grad engineers as well as college students who are just looking at the job market, the tech job market, and are scared, of what to do? How important would you say it is to start a side hustle using, their tech skills that they already have?
Yeah, I think it's super important because everyone needs it. Like everyone needs a website, everyone needs automation, everyone sees AI as important. So being able to use that and leverage that is huge. And also it's just having that skill is so valuable right now, and people are really looking for that. If someone does have a job or they just want to make money on the side, it's a great opportunity because everyone knows AI is going to take off. So why not be part of the people who are taking advantage of that?
Did you put it on your resume? Like any of the projects that you've built in your automation journey thus far?
I had previous like internship experience. So I mainly just focused on that, but I have mentioned it in like 1 or 2 bullet points.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like nowadays a lot of students, they'll do personal projects, but personal projects where you have real numbers to show, like I built X agent for this many clients, resulted in an increase in this much of revenue for them, right? Had this much users. And you have analytics to really go with your personal project. That's really gonna make you stand out among all the other people who are applying for tech jobs and tech internships, right? Especially for the new grads. I know a lot of new grad friends who like still don't have a job, and it's been like 3 years.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to show that you have that experience and that ability to ship something to users. So I haven't added many of my projects because I've already released projects that have users. So, and every time I go into an interview, I always bring that up and they're always impressed. And a lot of times they ask for the link to it, and I send them the link to the app store or to my website. So having that type of ability to show that you've worked with clients is huge and definitely can elevate you in the interview.
Yeah. What was the first AI agent or automation tool that you ever built for a client, like a paid project?
Yeah, my first one, he was looking for a list of therapists and coaches like across the world, and he had these websites. He sent me like 10 websites, and they're all pretty easy to like scrape and collect the data from. So I just set up like an automation to go to those websites, get all the emails, put them into a CSV, and then I wrote a script to like clean up the emails, remove any entries that didn't have emails, put it all into one CSV, and then sent it to him. So that was like my first project. Thankfully, it's like pretty simple, but it was like a good starter project as well.
How did you get the client? How much did he pay you for it?
So that client I got through a community. There was a school community where I was just being active and just checking it every day. And then he mentioned that he was looking for some data scraping, and I was like, oh, I think I can pretty much get the data from these websites. They look pretty unprotected. So I was like, this should be easy. And then in terms of payment, since that was my first project, he didn't really like trust me and believe in my skills. Like I said, I have this professional experience and, I've scraped other data before. I literally have an app that's data scraping, but he was like, I don't know about it. So I was just like, what, let me just do this for free for a testimonial. And then he did that. And then using that testimonial, I was able to get my next paid client.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. I think did you give video testimony or?
Yeah, it was a video testimonial. So It's actually still on my website now. Like you'll see him, he explains like what I did for him and how great it was. And it's like 3 minutes long, but using that experience, I was able to get my next client.
No, that's fire. Honestly, I think video testimonies are way better than like any written or testimony, because nowadays people can just fake, like business owners and like, especially in the online space in general, a lot of people are just faking testimonies. So they'll put like a random picture of someone, random name, like John Doe, you know, say whatever, but video testimony goes so far. I believe you have like about 4 or 5 now, right? On your website, video testimony.
Yeah, exactly. So now when I work with someone after the service, just ask them, hey, can you record a 30-second to a minute video? And no one said no, because I think I make sure I provide good enough service that they'll be like, yeah, like Ronald's a good guy, he had a good service, and then that's it. Just, I don't ask for much, it's 30 seconds. So yeah, most people are more than willing to give it to me.
Yeah, I remember you built a YouTube scraper for me, and I even gave you a testimony.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think as long as you just do the work quickly, fast, you're like fun to work, or not maybe not fun to work, but just pleasant to work with, people will be more than willing to give you one.
Yeah. What would you say is the agent you built that took you the least amount of time, as well as the one that took you the most amount of time? And this is all paid work.
The least amount of time, so I'm working with like a lawyer who's like collecting documents from different county websites. And so I think we've all used like these old government websites, and sometimes they can, again, be pretty easy to scrape. So collecting data from those sometimes is like really easy. It takes me like 10, 15 minutes sometimes. And I get paid for all the data I collect from. And then the most intensive projects I've done, I'm still working on it. It's an agent that automatically checks ticket stock on a different website. And then this is a ticket broker. So they buy and sell tickets. And so I go and check the price. I go see if it's available. I go see if it's sold out. And then that agent reflects that on their ticket brokering system. So it updates the price, marks it as sold out so people can't buy it, relist tickets. So it's very intensive, and it's like connecting Google Sheets, connecting multiple different websites. Yeah. I'm constantly running it and monitoring it. And so that's still ongoing. So that's definitely been my mode.
I won't ask you for the exact amount you're getting paid. I imagine clients probably don't want that out there. But in terms of the range, what would you say it is? Yeah,
this is shaping up to be like a deep 5-figure project. So yeah, this is going into like the 5 figures for me, which is really nice. So like as a college student, you know, like I used to be stressing about like $7 a month hosting fees for like my apps, but like now this is nice.
The crazy come up. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think when you first joined the mentorship program, you were, at that point you had built projects, right? But you weren't working on paid projects at that point, right?
Yeah. So I built 2 projects. They each have like 200 downloads and like users, but I never monetized them. And I was always trying to figure out like, okay, how can I monetize these? And I realized like just having a service-based business is a great way to get started for like no cost. So just getting straight into it and providing a service for someone.
That's great. That's great. If I'm correct, you've also worked with some of the other like mentees, like the alumni of the mentorship, right? Like Shubham and others. What has your experience been just being able to work on projects with other people's clients, I guess you can say?
Yeah. So I've worked with Shubham on a couple projects, and I'm working with him now on a real estate project, and that's been pretty fun. So like we're scraping Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all the big real estate websites, and we're doing lead gen based on that. And just overall, it's been really good to work with him because he's been in this game for, I think he was your mentee like 2 years ago or a year ago. So just being able to learn from someone who's been in it for multiple years and see how they handle contracts and communication has been huge. So just learning from him has been great. And he's also a great developer, of course.
Yeah, no, I guess I have never showed him on YouTube channel, but he sent me a text. I think I put in the Discord. He sent me a text and I was in Peru, like the middle of the desert. So I just land a $30K annual deal. And then I was like, oh shit, that's lit, right? That's lit. Yeah. That was so random. I think I showed like one of the people I was, cause they had asked me what I do, right, for like a living. And I was like, oh, I build agents, but also teach people. And then I showed them the text and they're like, oh shit, that's like pretty cool. Like, That's pretty cool. But what is like your biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to start their own automation agency?
You have to show up every day and just constantly work at it. So like for me, I have a goal of every day, like posting at least one piece of content across one different platform. So at least one piece of content on one platform. And the reason for that is like sometimes I'll post something for like weeks, right? And no one reaches out. Then 1 week, 2 people reach out, and then maybe one of them actually converts. And sometimes it's from old content. So you just got to constantly be putting stuff out, testing what works, seeing what's not working. I started a YouTube channel because I think I'm fine being on camera, sharing that story, sharing my voice with it. Other people may not. So in that case, you have to really go into like the text-based ones. But whatever platform you choose, you just got to keep going at it every day and like just keep going. Like, cause there's so many times it's just like you're getting nothing. But then some days you get like strike gold. So you just got to keep mining in a way.
What are your go-to platforms to post on?
For me, I join like different communities. So I've been mainly using School. And I also post on YouTube. So I have my own channel where I show people how I make my agents and things of that nature. So I think I've just been focusing really on those two, school and YouTube.
Okay. Have you used Reddit? I know obviously when I was like, when you were a student in the mentorship program, we used Reddit, LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Have you utilized Reddit, LinkedIn since then? Or have you just been sticking to school, YouTube for now?
I've been sticking with school and YouTube just because like those worked. And so I just want to keep going with them and then really just milk them dry. And then when I start to see that really slow down and I'm not converting at all, I'm going to go back to Reddit because I've made a few posts and they got a decent amount of views and some people commented, but I think it's harder for me, at least. I haven't figured out Reddit and the other platforms, but YouTube and school, it's like, okay, I get what to do here. So I'm just focusing on those two. I think that's another piece of advice. Like maybe for someone else, they're like, oh, I understand Reddit a lot and it's going to be easy for me to get clients. If that's the case, then do Reddit. Like there's no one size fits all. It's like you have to figure out what works for you.
On your YouTube channel, how has a lead flow been, right? As well as how you've been posting consistently?
So for me, YouTube has been more of just social proof. I haven't had any leads come in. And I think that's because I've been very technical focused. So I'm planning to transition more to reaching out directly to business owners and tapping into that audience. So right now I'm focusing on developers. So I think that's why it's been a little bit slower. And in terms of consistency, I try to post 1 to 2 times a month, which I know is like really low. So I'm trying to up that right now and just pump out more ideas for that as well.
I remember going on your website like recently, you have a pretty big, like I think 6 features of just you showing yourself, building out some scrapers or discussing some of your projects, videos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever thought of like, actually maybe you already had and I'm just not as hip to it, but have you reposted those on YouTube?
Yeah, maybe I could repost those as shorts. I just didn't want to, that's a good point. I could repost those as shorts or even on my YouTube and like break them down big into like more in depth. So that's a good point.
I think every business now needs to do, especially if you're starting your agency or any service-based business, or honestly any business that requires like online presence. You want to start a YouTube channel, and again, like you said, it doesn't have to be for views. It can just be for social proof. So you can point people to like a playlist that you make, right? And now they're going down your playlist, seeing your proof of work, right? Like all the Loom videos you have on your website, June Labs. If you put it at just one playlist, like proof of work or real examples, developers or other business owners will look at your projects and be like, oh, shoot, this is a cool, they'll basically binge watch your playlist, right? Because people are naturally prone to do that. And now they're going to be warmed up and they're going to have a lot more trust in what you have to offer, right? So we'll just help you convert a lot more. What is your primary negotiation tactic when you're talking to these clients to actually get them to, close and pay you?
So I focus on value and so I try to stay away from hourly based pricing. I focus on value. So for example, for the ticketing automation, this is going to save them tens of thousands of dollars per month and also hours, tens of hours per week. So I'm able to charge more for that. For the lawyer automation, the same idea. Instead of him going to all these websites, clicking the next button 100 times for one search term and he has 300 search terms. Okay, I'm saving you like 10 to 15 hours a week. You value your time at, let's say, or each of these cases is worth like, I don't know, X amount of dollars and I'm saving you X amount of time. So then you're able to charge more. So when you frame it like that, it's a lot easier to get more money. I try really to stay away from like hourly based pricing because like it's hard to give yourself that value. And if you're bringing them tens of thousands of dollars of value, why are you limiting yourself to $100 an hour? So I just try to do this, how much value I'm bringing you. And then I'm just taking a small percentage of that. And small percentage can be relative. It could be big personally, but to them, it's like, okay, that's fair. And I think most business owners would agree with that. It's like, if I'm getting $100,000 of value from you, paying you $10,000 is completely reasonable. Yeah,
like one of the biggest things when people say AI is replacing jobs, like if you're helping a company lay off 3 of their employees or basically do the work of 3 employees, like an average employee on like the lower end can make like 40 grand a year, right? So imagine you lay off 3 employees, you're saving a company $120,000 a year. So any company who wants to make more money, which is the goal of every company, will pay you any amount of money lower than 120 per year, right? If you're saving that much. So 30 grand a year, 40 grand a year. I think that's how Shubham, how his annual deal is looking, right? It's like you're saving X amount, you're saving them, let's say 60 grand a year. So they'll definitely pay you 30 grand a year. And then eventually they might hire someone else who's only charging 20 grand a year, right? Because whatever can get their cost to be as low as possible, right? But that's where your money's coming in. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I know when I talk to other software engineers and developers who are employed at big companies like Google, Netflix, Amazon, they see these ticket sizes and like there's no way someone will pay you 10 grand for like an agent that took you 2 weeks to build, right? Because think about it. a 10 grand, like these engineers are making maybe 10 grand a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're working 40 hours a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even 60. And so
Yeah.
they're like, there's no way you make the same amount with much less time, like doing this part-time for 2 weeks. But then you phrase it in the value like, well, I saved them like 30 grand a year, so they're paying me 10 grand one time. So in 2 years,
Yeah.
they're saving 60 grand. 3 years, they're saving 90 grand, right?
Yeah.
And I'm only getting
Exactly.
paid 10K once, you know, and that's,
Exactly. Yeah.
they're like, yeah, oh shit, now it makes sense. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I do see a trend, a lot of developers now starting their own agencies, and even non-technical employees like financial analysts, business analysts starting their agencies because they're starting to see like the value-based model that you're basically talking about, right? Not everything's by the hour anymore. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What is your goal for your agency for the next, let's say, 6 months? You've been doing this for 6 months already. You've had, I guess, a lot more success than most beginner owners will have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're just trying to do this themselves and they don't have like a mentor, they don't have a guidance or community, whatever, right?
Yeah.
What is your plan for the next 6 months? Like, what is your, are you going for like a X amount of money per month goal for your agency, or are you looking to maybe work with 200 plus clients, or what's your goal?
My goal is to actually reduce the number of clients I'm working with, but increase the price per client. That way I have more free time. Of course, everyone wants to make money while not doing that much. So of course that's the goal. But yeah, I definitely would want to crack like 5 to 10K a month recurring every month while only having like 1 to 3 clients while doing that. Because I'm also still going to be in school. So want to make sure like I'm doing well, passing all my classes, whatever. And then once I graduate, of course, then I'll have more free time to like really focus in on this. So.
Or do you see yourself working a full-time job after this, or after you graduate, or are you just going to focus more on the business?
I think definitely having the opportunity to work in tech is huge. Like being able to work at like a company like Microsoft or Google or, you know, Capital One, like whatever it may be, you get paid so well and you have so many benefits. I think there is value in doing that for at least 1 year, like at a minimum 1 year for me. But if the money's the same, or if I just really want to take a different direction in life, I'll definitely pursue this full time.
I mean, obviously having agency takes up some time, but it doesn't have to take up 40 hours a week of time, right?
Exactly.
You do this part-time. A lot of people do this part-time. And until at least it scales to the point where, like, okay, maybe if I put in more time now, maybe I'm earning 80 grand a month from this and my engineer salary is like 140, right?
Yeah.
If I double down, because when your salary, you're capped, right? As a
exactly.
worker, right?
Yeah.
But if your business is making 80K part-time, then imagine how much you make full-time, you know? So that's eventually a lot of engineers will make that jump. A lot of business owners or part-time business owners will make that jump when it hits those money goals, right? That's something I did, right? I imagine a lot of people will too, right? And I see a lot of people doing that, especially with just the way things are looking like, and how fast AI is moving and how slow these big corporations are adopting AI into their workforce.
Yeah.
You know?
So you made the jump? That's a update.
Oh yeah. I quit my full-time job.
Oh wow.
I thought you knew that. I thought
no.
Oh shit.
No.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half. I might cut this part out. I don't know. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a YouTube video where I'm gonna be like, I quit my software engineering job. The classic, right?
Yeah.
But no, I did quit. I quit Capital One. Start of May.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So it's been some time,
That's
man.
sick.
I guess you haven't touched base in a while. Yeah. But
Yeah. We could just continue from this point, but yeah, for me, it's just my goal is just getting that recurring revenue, because right now I have a lot of these like one-time setup fees, getting that one time. But now it's like, okay, can I create bigger platforms that take up more time, focus on 2 to 3 people, and then get paid recurring for that? And basically create like, because every like tech bro's dream is like, you know, the SaaS, the $1 billion SaaS, you're getting paid every month and you don't touch it. And for me, it's like, okay, this is like a way of kind of shortcutting that. It's like, okay, just get someone big enough and have them pay me every month for it.
If you had to make a 5-step action plan for someone who's getting started, what would the 5-step action plan be? So let's say from scratch, within the next 2 weeks, to have a business up and running.
Ooh, okay, 5 steps. Okay, first step, create a website with a name. I just did June Labs because like that's my nickname, June, and then Labs because it sounds cool and it sounds like tech. So just literally create a website, create a landing page that explains exactly what you do. So that's step 1. Step 2, and honestly this should be step 1, find different forums and platforms and people in your network that you can reach out to. So if you know someone who owns a med spa, or you know like a dentist, think about how you could help their business. Can you create an AI chatbot? Can you create a new website for them? Can you create an automation for them? Are they complaining about their email inbox being overflooded? So find people who you can reach out to and different platforms and places you can advertise. 3, learn the skills. So whether that's N8N, Python, JavaScript, whatever it is, whatever you want to do or whoever you're able to get interested, learn those skills. And then 4, I would say learn advertising. So whether that's content creation, cold email campaigns, paid ads, I think as a beginner, the best thing is cold email. It's relatively cheap and you can get started pretty quickly. And then fifth, I would say just constantly keep learning and like consuming content and having this community of people and like you as a resource that I can like hop on a call with or talk with Shubham or other people in the mentorship has been incredibly invaluable. It's like just being able to bounce ideas off of people and have that community and know that things are going to be fine, that you can talk through it is super helpful. So finding that community and just keep learning every day. Like every day I try to watch like at least 1 to 2 videos regarding AI automation. GPT-5 just came out, so I'm gonna read up on that. Just constantly learning and constantly taking action. So yeah, I'd say that's like my 5 steps. Set up a website, find people to contact, keep learning like the specific skills that you're going to sell them, find places to advertise, and then find a community of people you can talk to about it.
A solid 5-step plan. I don't think I said better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for all the beginners watching this, if you're looking to start your agency, part-time, full-time, whatever your spot may be, call a student like Ron or a full-time employee or a full-time employee like myself. Then, that's what you got to do, right? It's more doable than it's ever been, especially with the help of AI. Like, landing page, put it in one lovable prompt away.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Landing page,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
That's great. What have you found as the biggest bottleneck in your business?
I would say the biggest bottleneck for me, and I think every business on the planet, is just like getting more customers. Like Apple still has to advertise in Times Square and Manhattan, put up billboards. So like everyone's just trying to get more customers. So getting people interested and getting them to care and understand the value of this and positioning yourself as like the person to do it for them. Because everyone knows like there's a lot of, so I focus on automation and process automation and data collection. So everyone knows that there's inefficient processes in their business. And so it's trying to show them that I'm the right person to help them do that. So I would say that's like definitely the hardest part.
How do you stand out? Just your online testimonies? Use your
Exactly. So that's exactly what I mean. You need that online presence, like a nice looking website, getting those first testimonials where it's like a video testimonial. You can do that work for free. I guess I could update that list, but do a couple jobs for free, get those video testimonials, and then leverage those to get people in the future. And that's why I created the YouTube videos, because like I'm showing you that I'm not just offshoring this or I'm not BSing you. I'm literally walking you through the exact step-by-step of how I did this so I can do this for your business. That's my thinking behind it.
That's fire. No, I know I've been asking you to get on like an interview for some time, and you've always like, I want to get more progress, more portfolio, bigger portfolio.
Yeah.
Now, you reached a pretty solid point, and it's only more to come, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your main tech stack that you use to deliver your client projects?
Yeah, so most of the time I'm doing my projects in Python. So in terms of like entire tech stack, I'm using like Claude Code. Absolutely. Like if you're not using Claude Code and you're not a developer in 2025, like I'll go as far as to say that. Like if you're not using at minimum Claude Code or Cursor, you need to be using that. Even if you're like senior engineer, I think it would be very helpful. So Claude Code is my go-to, Python. And then really just depends on the project. So requests is an outdated library. The new library to be using is curl_CFFI. It allows you to do like undetected requests. And then in terms of like my WebDriver for browser automations, I've been using a library called CamoFox. It's like pretty new underground, and I'm giving it away for free. I didn't create it, but like I'm, putting everyone on game. So Curl CFFI and CamoFox are my like 3 main tech stacks with Python.
Fire. You don't use no-code tools as much, like end-to-end? Or I guess your projects just haven't, because more scraping, right? So you probably don't need it as much right now.
Yeah. So my projects are a little bit more complex and they get more in depth than end-to-end can handle. And I was actually planning to make a video on this of basically talking about like, I feel like the vast majority of people should not be using end-to-end because you see these workflows that are like 500 nodes or something, and it's just so hard to read and debug, and it's just like you need to be coding. So I think most of the time you should be using code, but that's my hot take.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's a good hook.
Yeah. That's my hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot take. Because I know like people like Gleb, they're like end-to-end demons. Like, crazy.
I think someone like him, I think I've seen some of his recent workflows. I think they're getting to the point. It started off being end-to-end, good for end-to-end. But I think the complexity now is like, that should be code.
Yeah. You tell him that. He's a high schooler, so, Well, I do an interview with him coming next week. So if you guys are watching this, feel free to watch that video as well. If you could go back in time on your agent development journey, what is one thing you would change?
I would do more outreach sooner. Like the first thing I would set up was like my cold outreach campaigns and learning how to do cold email, because it's just a numbers game. You got to reach out to a bunch of people. You got to get a bunch of people interested. Say you have 10 people interested who reply to you. Let's say you close 3 of them. Okay, great. But let's say if you're only reaching out to 100 people per day, and then it takes like 2 weeks to get those 10 people, it's going to take forever to get results. But if you're reaching out to 1,000 or 10,000 people per day, now all of a sudden you're flooded with people who are interested, and then you're closing more, and then you have constant deal flow. So just reaching out to more people, like it's just, you got to just keep going out there, keep talking to people, networking in real life, connecting with people like you, just more outreach, always just more outreach.
In the beginning, before you had a bunch of video testimonials, when you were writing your first emails, how did you like show your credibility as a business owner?
That's a good point. So for me, I had to rely on other social proof. So it's like, okay, I have internships at these other companies. I'm studying computer science at universities. So I'm learning I know how to code. I've released these projects on the App Store that you can check out. So just leveraging other forms of social proof that are not directly tied to the business in the beginning, but as soon as possible, switching into like business social proof as soon as you can.
Fire. I think that's probably really good advice for a lot of beginner owners. I get that question a lot, right? Like sometimes I would say like set up like a beginner landing page, just link it, establish that credibility. But if you don't even have that, for sure, just talk about your degree, or if you're a college student, like what you're studying and any apps you build. Like just like how you have a personal products on your resume, just have personal projects linked in your email itself.
Yeah. And you can use that as leverage. Like for me, like I built like my app basically incorporates scraping. So I'm like, okay, I've released this, you can use it. And this is proof that I can scrape. I can apply this to your business. So you can like leverage it like that in a way.
Yeah, no, fire. Yeah, I definitely appreciate all the advice. I hope everyone who's watched the interview has learned a lot. Definitely comment down one thing that you have learned from this interview, right? Probably your best takeaway. And I'm excited to see, your growth, Ronald, as you grow and you grow your agency. And if you want to connect with Ronald, his social is in the description below, as well as his website link. So you can see the video testimonies he's talked about, some of the things he's whipped up, as well as his YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, make sure to check it out.